Let me start off this video by saying that nothing I'm bringing up right now is to brush up my own ego and make me feel better or to show off or anything like that. It's simply to bring up experiences from my past that I can use to relate to everyone who might be in the similar situation as me, and to give you some perspective from someone who's been there and who's done that already and regrets every second of it. There are a lot of things that I'm still very proud of, but I understand how minuscule those things are compared to many other things in the world, and especially in esports. But there are also a lot of things that I am not proud of. I'm not going to bring them all up in this video, but I'm going to bring up a few things that relate to what's happening recently in the community, however small it may be at the moment. Moving on. So I'm a little foggy on some of the details, but back in 2013 and 2014, but mostly 2013 I believe, the Artifact Assault AC3 season was being held by me, Unsparing Word, and Trap Music, the leader of JPG and the leader of WHU, and I would eventually become the leader of PSP, former VAA member. I not only found myself in the ranks of leading the tournament as an official, but I found myself next to probably one of the best defenders of all time, I Kill You For Sure, who was my mentor at the time. After wheeling and dealing a little bit to get her on my team, I also wheeled and dealed a little bit to get two other runners on my team after, trying through a few other people. TXR Raven Elite and Filipino Ninja. They were from a team back in ACR's early days, and they were the only runners that gave Kill and Lord of God a scare, a real scare. According to Kill, that's what she told me, and that's why I wanted them on the team. Because I figured no one would know who they were, and I figured that they probably had some kind of natural talent. Anyway, starting the season, I expected us to lose maybe 5 games tops. I didn't think anyone else thought that, but I had faith in my team, and I had faith in myself. Week after week, we kept winning games, best 2 out of 3s. We kept winning them. We would lose our first game most of the time during that 2 out of 3, but we would always come back and win 2 games after a tie or so, and we would win the best 2 out of 3. So in that regard, we were undefeated in best 2 out of 3s 9 times in a row until we met up with Hacks, also known as Hybrid Assassins X. A lot of you know where I'm about to go with this, and a lot of you might be new to the channel and you have no idea where I'm going to go with this, or you might be new to the channel and you also might have somewhat of an idea where I'm going with this. But what I'm going for here is that not only was my team 9-0, but I believe Hacks was also 9-0 or 10-0. And WHU had just come off of losing their first game due to a DQ, which, all of us knew didn't really count, but statistically, Hacks and PSP were the only undefeated teams in the league. There were obviously other great teams in the league, but because we were the only undefeated teams and we were finally meeting, there was a lot of hype. So much hype. From my perspective, I've never seen anything more hyped than the match between PSP and Hacks, the Pub Stomping Ponies, and the Hybrid Assassin X. And to add to that hype, not only were Kill and I just coming off of being top 5 for kills in the league. I think Kill remained top 5 until that game started, but I had just fallen out of the top 5 for kills. But also, Hack Satyricon and Hack Scotty were top 5 for most scores, with Scotty having like 28 or something at the top. Number 1, and I think number 2 and number 3 was Hack Satyricon. So at the very least, this was a matchup of the best offense arguably versus the best defense arguably. Long story short, we got manhandled when the series started, but like we always do, we adapted and came back and won the series. I'm not going to go heavy into detail. Hacks put up a great match, and it was probably the best series of my entire life. I'll never forget it, not until the day I die. It was amazing, and I appreciate Hacks for being what they were and who they were. We haven't always been on the best terms, but I really appreciate them as a team, and I would love to have them back in the community at any time in the rest of my life. Whatever. Anyway, on to the main point. That went to my fucking head so hard. I've never felt like I was more king of the community or anything in my entire life, and to be honest, I never was ever the king of the community, quote unquote, but at that time, the week after and so on, from the point that we beat Hacks and became the only undefeated team, nothing else had ever felt that good, which I guess might be a little bit sad to hear, but yeah, that was the pinnacle of a lot of my life, I guess you could say. So before you people who think that I'm still an egotistical maniac leave the video because you think I'm stroking my own ego, Now we're going to get to the actual meat of the video, the reason that I'm making this video. Like I said, it went to my head. I went out of control. I became the most egotistical person you'll ever meet in your life. I was like, PSP is the best. No one can touch us. We'll always come back. You'll never beat us. And a lot of drama started happening. People wanted me to shut the fuck up. People wanted me to stop talking about how good I was. My team wanted me to stop talking about how good I was. My team wanted me to stop taking everything so seriously and have more fun instead of being so obsessed about how good I was and how my stats looked and how the wins versus losses looked and all this different stuff. And I became a mini Hitler, if you would like to call me that. You could. My teammates probably would have. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever, done. And I am very ashamed of how I acted towards my team and towards the rest of the community at that point in my Assassin's Creed career, if you want to call it that. Funnily enough, though, our only actual loss was to WHU, and the rest of our losses, which was about 5, like I originally predicted, were all DQ losses because of not being able to connect to certain teams. So, yeah, we go into the playoffs after some drama and stuff, and, we're melding our team back together, recovering from certain dramatic things that happened. We beat the first team in the playoffs. I forget who it was at the moment. Sorry if, you happen to be watching this video and, I don't remember who you are. I just don't. At the moment, but we ended up facing AVK, the Aztec Venom Kings. We were beating them, and then TXI had to leave due to some family matters that he had to attend to. He didn't come back in time, we didn't have our subs on, and they couldn't get on, so we got DQ'd and lost the tournament in the quarterfinals because of a DQ. So if there's anyone who understands your pain when you get DQ'd from a tournament, it's me and my teammates. There was even a big-ass argument on Twitch stream that I was doing. I think it was my stream, might have been Kill's stream, where AVK Fiasco and I argued our asses off. A lot of people know what I'm talking about, but a lot of you might not know. It was kind of infamous, I guess, sort of. So all those wins and all that stuff absolutely didn't matter, and every time I bring it up to anyone, they all say, you didn't win the championship, so none of that stuff matters. So I understand your pain if you've been DQ'd from a tournament. And here's what I have to say to the people that have been DQ'd from a tournament and have problems getting over it and want people to recognize them. And the drama that escalates from that, and everyone who contributes to that drama. Not a single bit of your drama will ever be worth the outcome. Especially nowadays when the community can barely find a lobby once within the hour. And if you're lucky, that lobby you find will be full of prestiges and they'll stay, and hopefully they won't use gun and hack 3-man D and 4-man D on you. And for all those people who hate U-turning, maybe they won't U-turn on you either, but you need to grow up and get over it. It's never ever going to be worth it. And in today's community, being as small as it is, we need it more than ever to be mature. We need more than ever to make sure that we have each other's backs and that we stop insulting each other and making each other feel like shit. Do you want people to leave the community because it's so dramatic? No. We want as many people to join as we can. You may not like them, but have the decency of a human being not to insult them in a very personal way. Get over your ego. You don't need to prove that you're the best team in a community of 100 people tops. Maybe, if we're lucky. A dedicated competitive community of 100 people. This is not the golden era. The era where you were maybe allowed to brag about stuff like I did or like anybody else did. We barely had the rights to brag about stuff back then. We sure as hell don't have the bragging rights nowadays. And it'll never ever be worth it to cause drama over, guys. We need to band together and prove that we're mature enough to make an esports community work. Because if Ubisoft makes another multiplayer ever, that's going to be the most important thing, is proving that we're mature enough to do business with. Because if it looks like we're just a bunch of little kids and no one's going to want to join our community, then, we're probably not going to go anywhere with esports as it is. And, we can dream on about having a good multiplayer that has good lane capabilities and is balanced that we can use. But Until that comes, we still have to do our part. And after that comes, we still have to do our part and not be little children about everything we do. Do yourselves a favor and stop being dramatic. Stop calling each other names. Stop it. You're just making yourselves look like assholes. You're embarrassing each other and yourselves. And you're not making anyone look good, including yourself. You just look like a loudmouth that's addicted to this game and has a problem. And I'm not targeting anyone specific with these things that I'm saying. I'm not targeting the DQ'd or the DQers. I'm just saying as a whole, as an entirety of the community, please calm the fuck down. Let go of your egos. It's not worth it. I regret everything that I did almost to the most regret possible that a person can probably feel. It's not worth it. You want to keep your friends. You want to make new friends. You don't want to look back and feel like you can't talk to people because you were a complete douchebag to them 2 or 3 years ago like I do. Because that's kind of how I feel about a few people now. I feel like I was such an asshole, I don't deserve to talk to them anymore. You know. So, let that be a lesson learned. If there's anyone who understands your pain when you get bullshitted at a tournament, it's probably me and my teammates. But I'm the only one from that team that's stuck around, so I'm the only one who can give you this advice. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying. This video is running over 10 minutes now, and you're probably all bored and wanting to go do something else, like play an Assassin's Creed 3 Artifact Assault. So adios for now, guys, and just think before you speak, please, and be nice to everyone. You know, come on. It's not worth it.
Oh, come on. What the fuck?
Need a knife, anyone?
What the hell?
Okay, seriously, guys, let's pay attention. Come on, let's get this
I am
down.
paying attention. I don't know what the hell happened.
A little bit more.
Why?
A little bit more. I'm just saying, let's get it together. We can do this, but I'm just saying, I don't want to. Like, it sounds like we're a little flustered.
Your teammates stole.
You don't have to deny everything I say, Kill. Just go with it, okay?
The opposing team's artifact.